So hello everybody and welcome back to our 4-part webinar series entitled Transforming to a Digital PMO with AI. My name is Maria Helner and I'm going to be the facilitator for these 4 sessions. The topic for today's webinar is Unlocking the Power of Meeting Data with AI Agents, the top 5 use cases for the digital PMO. So in week 1, we polled all of our audience members with the question of, at what level does your PMO consistently leverage technology to drive efficiency and effectiveness? And then we also asked to understand what challenges is your PMO and your digital PMO currently facing. So, Rich, can you remind us of those challenges that our audience members are facing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the next slide, what we did was we tried to take all those questions and those inquiries and actually Karen did it, to be quite honest. She boiled them all up and we looked at this and we were able to kind of consolidate all of the different challenges and problems that came across through our inquiries into these 3 items. Challenge number 1, we are being able to summarize as many manual processes. 2 is that the lack of integration, in other words, siloed information. And then that third area, if you will, is that inability to make, good, quick decisions. So these were things at a high level. And then as we move forward in our webinar series, we've kind of talked about various AI technologies and the digital PMO. And so as we go into this webinar series, we took some of those questions and we kind of prioritized them into various use cases as advertised here. We're going to take a look at 5 different use cases, and actually I've been looking forward to this day for quite a few weeks, because this is where Karen and we get to grill our subject matter experts from Sembly AI. Again, we are talking about those meeting agents and as part of today's topic. And so again, here's use case number 1, representing Karen and myself as working in the PMO space for many years and also representing our audience members. So Alec and Arwin, we've got a problem for you. We're going to toss you a problem here, and let's see how our technology can help us out here. So I've got many meetings on my calendar that are actually scheduled at the same time, sometimes 2 and 3 meetings deep. In other words, they overlap. Is there any way our AI agents, our meeting technology, can help us out with this problem?
Yes, and thanks for passing that over, Rich. So this, what you bring up is super common, something that's been an issue for decades, not just the past few years, though, of course, we have seen it exacerbated by the pandemic, by remote work, the need for more meetings to kind of stay on top of our projects, our teams, and that sort of thing. So we know that this is something that will typically affect executives, very much so project managers like you just described, but also really anyone working on a cross-functional team, as meetings are often the best and really only way to stay aware of some of these cross-functional initiatives and how they're affecting our projects at large. What we have seen is that a lot of organizations have attempted to reduce either the number of meetings, how frequently they're taking place, or even how many attendees are on them. But I think the truth is that we're not yet there. There is still a need. And I know that project managers specifically do have a lot of control over things like the scheduling of kickoff meetings, status meetings, change control, that sort of thing. But the rise of internal meetings will often leave them double, or like you said, even triple, quadruple booked, which leaves us with a couple options here. So should PMs simply select which meetings they miss key updates from? Alternatively, they can spend some of their valuable time listening to long recordings and doing their best to pause, play, jot things down, and find the parts of those meetings that matter to them the most. But with AI agents, much like what we're offering here at Sembly AI, you don't have to choose the lesser of those 2 evils. So by having an AI assistant actually joining the meeting on your behalf, letting the other attendees know, can't make this one, but I'm having my agent, my assistant here, and I'm going to be able to really easily look at things like the summary, other key insights, especially things like tasks, right afterwards, so that I'll be super on top of everything, won't need to spend time and messaging people trying to figure out what mattered the most. It will be right there waiting for me. So I'm really not missing out on any of that. Beyond that, we actually are seeing a lot of assistance. The Sembly and Chat Assistant is our version there, where you can actually interact with a chat agent, query key information that matters the most to you. So asking questions like, what is it that affects me the most from this meeting? As a project manager, what do I need to keep in mind? And can you help me get some of these insights that'll help me with follow-up, other key things like that? So that's our answer to that problem you bring up, and I'll pass it back to the team now.
Thank you, Alec. All right, so this will go into our next problem. It feeds right off of the first one, right? So as a project manager, I have a lot of meetings, and I am the host or scrum master of these meetings. So with that, I have to spend a lot of time summarizing all of my notes and getting that information out to all of the attendees and or anybody that wasn't able to attend. So is there a way that the AI agent can assist me with that?
As far as the time spent summarizing notes, sharing them with other attendees, I think it really does hit on one of the most overlooked aspects of meeting management, which is this notion of post-meeting collaboration. So we, as PMs, can devote time to crafting a great agenda and using that to kind of guide our meeting so that it runs smoothly. But ultimately, it's all for naught if we don't have a good system for acting on all of this information that came up during the conversation. So the result here is very valuable time spent organizing notes, summarizing discussions, even some of the nitty-gritty things like crafting follow-up emails to our stakeholders, colleagues, whoever it is that needs to be aware of these updates. Now, imagine you had a personal assistant to help with all of these tasks, but an assistant that actually has perfect recall and one that is trained on how to identify the most important aspects of business meetings, project meetings, whatever type of conversation you are having. And this is something that we strive for, and that can be greatly, greatly enhanced with an AI agent, providing an assistant for you and for your team that can use AI to summarize meetings, but also organize follow-up tasks, and perhaps most importantly, ensure that no key insights are slipping through the cracks. So once you review the notes from your meeting, you can get them sent to your colleagues, to your customers with the click of a button. So I think the play here and our solution is very much around time saving.
All right, Alec, I think you guys are you and Arwin are 2 for 2 so far, but let us throw another challenge at you. Again, I think I speak on behalf of my other project management peers that are joining me here in this meeting, and speak on behalf of Karen that one of the problems that I constantly have is I spend a great deal of time. Again, maybe it's because of the gray hair, so I'm getting a little old, but I spend a great deal of time just searching like through my meeting notes or trying to find, I know there was a reference to a particular topic. I can't remember exactly who said it or what meeting it was in. I spend a good bit of time searching through my notes and through my email, trying to find something or trying to find a reference that was called out in a meeting. Can Sembly AI help us out here, or can it help me out?
Yeah, I think it absolutely can. So in this case, PMOs, what is it that we can do to really be better? I think that what's clear is that the best PMOs, so digital, agile, modern, are the ones that are enabling their staff to learn from past engagements. So how can we codify a system where something that happened in the past, good or bad, is part of an ongoing review that we can use to be really as strong as possible in the future? whether it is identifying a misstep or repeating successful strategies. This really is a very vital motion for us as we move forward. And the main problem that comes up is so many of these experiences, so things that we want to learn from, are stated on calls, mentioned briefly as asides on meetings, rather than documented in our internal systems. So how often is it that we're speaking with the customer or on an internal call and realizing that a virtually identical situation came up a few months back, but then we really struggle to find the notes on how we approached it and how we can use that to move forward. So with Sembly AI, what we're essentially doing is enabling what we're calling an enterprise meeting cloud. And what we mean by that is everything said on your calls is stored in that cloud so that it is always accessible for you to come in, fetch, query that information that mattered the most to you. So even the best PMs out there who are amazing at jotting down notes, finding those notes in terms of having a good system of referring to documents, past conversations, past colleagues, it is difficult, if even possible at all, to really have total recall on that, especially in a way that we can get to quickly. So with Sembly AI, our answer there is your enterprise meeting cloud. And this is something that lets you come in and search for anything, a name, customer, technology that you considered implementing in the past, or even just a keyword that you suspect was mentioned on a call. And as long as it was indeed stated, we will take you right to it so that you can drill into that a little bit deeper and really, again, make sure that nothing is slipping through the cracks, so that all that data that you have is accessible and is something that you can act on in a quick way. So when we establish the enterprise meeting cloud, this burden of corporate meetings and how frequently we have them actually converts into an asset so that you, your organization, or most importantly, the customers are not missing out on anything that might be incredibly valuable to pushing a project forward just because it might have been said as an aside a few weeks ago. So super important to have this cloud, make sure that everything is accessible, but we can get to it quickly and also act on it. So that is our answer there. Thank you.
Kind of bouncing off of these other things, it's all compounded in project management, right? All of these meetings and the issues that are coming up. In a meeting, you might have a lot of people and ramble on and just cover a lot of topics. I don't know about you, but for me, you'll have an executive that jumps in and just all of a sudden takes, you know, a very well-scheduled agenda and just throws in a quick statement about a completely different project that you're talking about. Or the conversation just goes elsewhere and you're trying to take meeting minutes and you're trying to take notes. So what I struggle with is trying to keep up with that and then afterwards looking back and summarizing it appropriately when I am trying to share what happened in the meeting with the attendees. So Arwin, do you mind going into that?
Yeah, I agree with you, Karen. Juggling with different topics in meeting can be a struggle, especially when you are the one taking the notes. So having a meeting summary with outline topics generated by AI actually offers several notable benefits. Firstly, it improves a concise and structured overview of the meeting discussions, enabling the participants to quickly grasp the key points and outcomes without having, again, to sift through lengthy meeting transcript or notes. As you mentioned, sometimes you have to juggle between topics. Now, this saves time and improves overall comprehension from all the attendees and team members. By leveraging AI to generate meeting summaries with outlined topics, important information and action items can be highlighted and organized in a logical manner. This makes it easier for participants to identify the areas of interest or responsibility, ensuring that they focus on the most relevant parts of the meeting and also to quickly reference specific topics as needed. And beyond that also, AI-generated meeting summaries promote effective information sharing and collaboration within the teams. With well-structured summary, team members who were unable to attend the meeting can also easily catch up on the discussion and stay informed without the decisions made and tasks assigned. Now, this foster inclusivity and also ensure that everyone is on the same page, because like you mentioned, when you have to take notes and juggle through the different topics that come in the meeting, sometimes like people will focus on different areas. But with structured summary generated by AI, people can focus on what is important and be on the same page at the same time. The other advantage, that is, AI generated summary can also help with the knowledge retention. Now imagine also, by providing a concise overview of the meeting content, participants can better retain and recall the information discussed, as Alec mentioned before also. This can be particularly valuable when dealing with complex or detailed topics, as the summary acts as a helpful reference for future discussion or project-related tasks. Sembly AI is the leading AI team assistant that produces meeting summary with outline topics, which streamlines information processing, enhances collaboration, and also improve knowledge retention. It empowers team members to quickly grasp the meeting's essence, identify the areas of focus, and easily share insights with others as well. Me, as the customer success of Sembly AI, I often receive feedbacks that our structured summaries communication and decision making within the teams as well. So yeah, thank you, and I pass it back to the team. Yeah.
All right. We promised in the headliner here that we would bring across 5 use cases to you guys. So here's our 5th problem. So again, I think I represent my the audience here, and Karen and all the other project managers around the world. I spent a great deal of time extracting tasks, copying, identifying tasks from my meeting minutes, and identifying owners and establishing those due dates. And I spent a good bit of time with that, and then transferring that information over into our more robust some out of my notes into our task tracking system. All right, guys, what do you got? Any way Sembly AI can help me out, help me improve this process?
Absolutely, Rich. So Sembly AI actually also offers automatic task synchronization from meeting conversation to to-do apps that offer several significant benefits for the team. Firstly, it eliminates the need to manually do the note-taking and also to create the tasks during the meetings, which allow participants to focus more on active listening and collaboration. This saves valuable time and also ensure that no action items or important details are missed. By seamlessly integrating meeting conversation with to-do apps, tasks can be automatically generated and assigned to relevant individuals or teams. This will also streamline the task management process and ensures accountability, which is very important, as everyone involved in the meeting has a clear understanding of their responsibilities and also deadlines. This eliminates the need of manual data entry and reduces the chances of human error or misinterpretation. Another advantage is that it provides a centralized and easily accessible repository for all meeting-related tasks. Participants can refer back to the meeting notes, action items, and assign tasks within the to-do app, ensuring continuity and preventing important details from slipping through the cracks. This promotes, again, effective follow-up and collaboration, as team members can stay informed of the progress and status of the various tasks. Moreover, automatic task synchronization enhances collaboration and transparency across teams. By linking meeting conversation directly to relevant tasks, it fosters better communication and visibility, because team members can view the context of a task within the original meeting discussion, which facilitate effective decision-making, reduce the need for additional clarification. One key benefit of Sembly AI is the automatic task synchronization from meeting conversation to to-do apps. It simplifies the task management process, ensure accountability, like I mentioned before, and promotes better communication among team members. Now, I heard this benefit a lot of organization, and I do wish that you guys can have a chance to try it out, because again, I hear it more and more that the automatic task synchronization actually help the team to achieve goals more effectively and also help to foster a culture of proactive and streamlined work. So thank you, Rich, for bringing this question and use case into this conversation. Now back to the team. Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
guys so much. That was really insightful. Before I run out of time here, I did want to mention that we got a question last week that was wondering a little bit more if we could demonstrate or show some information about the benefits of using AI within the digital PMO landscape. Rich, do you mind if I call upon you so that you can help our audience understand those benefits?
yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Serve me right up. Serve me right up on this question. So I actually extracted the exact question out, and I'm reading it right here. It says, "What empirical evidence has been produced to show the net benefit of using AI?" Okay, and so with that question, you know, I suppose I could, you know, pull some type of report from the web, but I think where you really have to start is you first, again, this is what we brought up in webinar number 2. You first have to come up. You have to say, what is your definition of AI? Right? How do you define AI? And if I go with this term right here again that I mentioned last week, it's from Britannica. And again, you could go to different sources. This is the one I'm going to go with because there is no defined exact, no agreed term just yet. So if we go with the definition of AI is the ability of a digital computer or computer controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. So that's the definition I'm going to go with. And so with that definition, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, since we're talking about the AI agents as part of this webinar, I could talk about the ways we've within our digital PMO where we've automated different processes. And if we go with that term, the definition here of AI, we could say by automating that process, and there's no doubt we could give you the quantifiable cost benefit of implementing that within our client PMO. But I'm going to show you what I want to do, since we're talking about the Sembly agent here. I'm going to show you the results from where we conducted a pilot within one of our clients with respect to Sembly, using Sembly AI. So if you could give me the permissions here, Maria, if I could show my screen, I'll just quickly flash up some results here that we received directly from working with Sembly AI within one of our clients. And I'll let you kind of review this. I'm not about to read through all this, nor do I have the time, but I just want to point to some statistics over here on the right. 17% increase in meeting efficiency. It's hard to knock that. 50% reduction in meeting attendees that's been seen, and a 98% data accuracy in the transcription. So there's your quantifiable numbers for working with Sembly AI. And you can see also we're able to see shorter meetings and fewer participants and increased collaboration. Again, so this is an example of that quantifiable use case around leveraging AI, you know, and getting benefit from AI inside of a digital PMO. All right, I want to go with one more question, because the audience here, well, they're super smart, right? They all know we gave Sembly AI these questions in advance, and they had an opportunity to answer these questions beforehand, before coming live here. But let me now put them on the spot, because we got a couple minutes extra here. Watch, you see their face? This is off script. So let me give you another problem. This is a bonus for my audience. So guys, quite often I need to focus on, you know, in my meeting facilitation, I need to focus on the discussion. I'm trying to understand what's being said and who's saying what, and I need to make sure I'm staying focused on the meeting. And quite often I miss taking notes, and I want to take notes, but at the same time I need to stay focused. And I get to the end of the meeting, I'm like, oh, I wish I'd have captured note. Hey, can Sembly help us out with that?
Absolutely, yeah. There are many ways that Sembly can help you with that. So first of all, with the search feature, because you built your knowledge library with the meeting, that AI generated meeting transcript and also summary, you can easily try to search from that feature. And other than that, our generative capability, you can actually interact with the agent. So I get this example from one user in the past. You can actually use Sembly to actually ask the question, what was the main topic? A certain speaker brought that up. Now, since Sembly has the technology to identify the speaker from the meeting, it actually also identified the main topic that speaker bring to the meeting. Like what Rich mentioned, imagine when you have to listen carefully to the meeting, carefully taking notes. Sometimes you have to juggle and you forget, and then suddenly you want to recall what that person was saying. Now, with Ask Sembly, you can just go back to that meeting. First, through the search bar, you can find that meeting easily. And second, once you are in that meeting, you can ask our AI agent. You can ask the question, let's say, what was the main topic that Rich made around this topic in this meeting? And then within seconds, you will get the answers in very precise bullet points, very detailed informations that you can refer back to the transcript, so you know with confidence you get the accurate information. Because sometimes people rely to provide you with the answer, to interact with you directly, and to have everything within your knowledge library. You know precisely what was discussed, the detail of the information, and again, with 100% accuracy. So I hope that answered the point and the question you brought up here, Rich.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you all so much. I want to thank, first of all, our panelists for sharing their insights today. And then I also want to thank our audience for joining us. Be sure to join us again for the very last session next week on Tuesday, June 27th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, in which we will cover transforming your PMO with AI agents and provide you with a step-by-step guide to successful integration. If you have any lingering questions from today's sessions or from any of our previous sessions, you can send those to our team right in the questions window in GoToWebinar. And then after this webinar, our team will get back to you. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great day and we'll see you next week.